Did you know that you could avoid quite a few medical and behavioral problems just by having your dog castrated or neutered? Let's talk about it. Hi, I'm veterinary Nele and I help cat and dog owners avoid sudden sickness and high medical bills without the long waiting times and stress, and so Dr. Google doesn't give you a heart attack. Before we dive in, I do have to mention chemical castration is also an option. This is like a microchip that's injected and it works a longer time. It is usually not recommended because it is more expensive. It can sometimes be done just to check if it is for a behavioral problem that your dog will actually behave better. But usually it's the training also that is needed after a castration. When is this recommended? When you're actually a dog breeder and you want to avoid having pups at a certain time because you're gonna overload your females. Now back to the video. There are many reasons why having your dog neutered is a good idea. I will break this video up into 3 chapters. Why dog owners want to have their dog neutered or castrated, what are the medical reasons for castration, and last but not least, what are the possible downsides to castration. Chapter 1. The owner's reasons. So owners really have about 5 reasons. Reason number 1, lifting the paw while peeing. Some people want to avoid that their dog learns to lift up their hind leg for peeing. There's really no medical reason for this. Don't know why people want this. Do they like the aesthetics better or something? But if you castrate early enough, they'll keep peeing like a girl. Castration is usually done around 6 months of age, but sometimes when the reasons are too severe, we can do it as soon as the testicles are in the scrotum and they're big enough to handle. Reason number 2, marking everywhere. Especially when the dog is starting to go through their puberty, they start to mark everywhere. Every time you're going for a walk, at every possible spot where another dog has urinated, they will stop to urinate a tiny teensy bit of urine just to mark that this is their territory. And then they walk a few meters and there's another spot. They stop and pee, they stop and pee, and they stop and pee. Yeah, a lot of owners find this very annoying. Hence the reason for castration. Don't let this go on for too long though, because it will become learned behavior and it will not just disappear after castration. Reason number 3, dominant behavior. So when there's a case of dominant behavior or even aggression, castration can also help. Reason number 4, sexual behavior. Dogs in their puberty sometimes start riding pillows, stuffed animals, or even people's legs. The last one, however, is not appreciated whatsoever. The other things, some owners just feel like that's his thing, he can do it if he likes it, or they can actually keep him from doing it. And sometimes it will just go away. But if they start doing this and you don't do a castration right away, they will also make this a learned behavior. It will not just go away without very, very proper training. Reason number 5, overactivity. Sometimes male dogs can be very active, like hyper, and usually after castration they calm down quite a bit, and so they are much more trainable. With any of these reasons, if you wait too long for castration, they will not magically disappear, and it is never a guarantee that they will disappear after a castration. Chapter 2. Medical reasons. There are really 2 main medical reasons why we as veterinarians recommend castration. Reason number 1, prostatic hyperplasia. Some dogs, and this is usually not in their youngest age, but a little bit older, like middle age, they can get a hyperplasia of the prostate. This means it will get bigger. This is not something malignant, not something like a tumor, but it can get that big that the pee can't pass or not well enough, and the poo can't pass. And that is an emergency. If they can't pee or poo, they get blocked or their bladder becomes too big and it can rupture. Usually the poo doesn't obstruct completely, but you will see the poo sausages being more flattened than nicely rounded. And you can bet your dog will not be comfortable. When this happens, your vet can actually prescribe a medication that you have to give for about 7 days, depends on what medication it is. But this problem can return, while if you castrate in that moment, this will go away on its own. But your dog will be a little bit older, and the younger the dog is, the less discomfortable the castration is. Also, Bear in mind, your dog is not in the best condition at that time, so the surgery has more risks. Reason number 2. Perianal tumor. Somewhat older dogs can get a tumor in the tissue of the anus. There are two kinds of this tumor. There's a benign kind, or a malevolent kind, and a malignant kind. The malevolent kind is the one that cannot occur with a castrated dog and disappears if you castrate at that time. The malignant kind, however, we cannot differentiate from the good kind, so we have to castrate to see if it goes away, but then it doesn't, and at that time it cannot become bigger, and we have to remove the tumor there. For the good kind is not something that will kill your dog, but it opens and it hurts and your dog cannot sit on his booty. So I do not find this very good for his well-being, so that's the go. Chapter number 3. Possible downsides to castration. There are two downsides to castration. The first one being the risk of the surgery itself. Any surgery has its risk factors, but if your dog is examined well and maybe there was a pre-operation blood exam, then the risks are minimal. Reason number 2, obesity. Any dog that you're gonna keep feeding the way you did before castration will easily become overweight. But if you have a good veterinarian who tells you what to give and how much to give, and you also keep up enough of exercise, then this will not happen. So it's really all up to you if your dog becomes obese or not. If you've had any value from this video, please give it a like so more people can actually find this information on YouTube. Let's keep your fur babies happy and healthy together, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!